Welcome back to James May Talks Too Much, guys. I got Nick James here. What, up and coming comedian? Would you say?
I don't even know up and coming. Just more recreational comedian. I've been telling all my jokes to like 2 people for like 15 years, so I figured I might as well share my prowess with the world.
Okay, dude, you came out like a boss. Like, you got something special going on with you, kid.
Well, thank you. I've actually been. I'm a communications major, so public speaking is something that's pretty easy for me now. I remember back in college, I did a speech on the effects of marijuana in your sperm count, and I coincided it all with football. And so, if you can give a speech like that to an auditorium full of people, you can do anything.
That's fair. that's yeah. My dog wants to cuddle. But so I got the first time question for everybody, and it lets everybody know who you are. What makes Nick James Nick James?
I'm Nick James, bitch.
Nick James, bitch.
The unfortunate thing is I used to use that a whole lot as a pickup line. But like now when I do it, like the girls are like, "Why did you just state your name and call me a bitch?" And it's like, dude, she's too young. She doesn't remember the Chappelle Show. No, what makes me me? I'm probably the only black guy you'd ever meet who listens to prog rock and cry.
Okay, wait.
Prog rock.
What the fuck is that?
Prog rock? Dude, I've got a Rush tattoo right here. See guys? This is from their album, Grace Under Pressure.
Okay.
Progressive rock, Genesis, with Phil Collins.
Is it Styx?
I think more Kansas. Kansas is early prog rock.
Like
Queensryche is prog metal.
Kind of like rock and funk together.
No, like Jesus, what are they showing people?
Because I know who Rush is.
Yeah,
and I know who those. Like I'm just.
Prog rock is rock and roll with at some points either stories or long instrumentals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd is prog rock. Absolutely.
Okay. Like, I've never heard that before. That's really interesting.
Nice.
So, like, you're the only black guy that listens to that?
I'm not sure. I mean, probably not on this planet, but I can guarantee you.
In Spokane?
In Spokane, probably. It is I know, it is sometimes it is lonely. So, if you're a black guy who likes prog rock, hit me up. I'd love to chat. Compare dick sizes, see if I'm the only one with a small one.
Oh, do you have a small dick?
I like to tell people, I don't...
Does that make you too?
I don't, here's the thing. I don't have a BBC, all right? Okay. I've got an ABC, an average black cock.
Okay,
I'm
like
okay
a
with
solid
that,
sixer?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. My dick will...
Get the job done.
My dick will bring your daughter home from the trap house at a respectable hour. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least you know what you're working with.
Yep.
And nobody should be scared that they bring you home.
Plus, I'm also like the only black guy who probably eats pussy.
Is that a thing too?
It is a thing.
Okay, I've heard that. I didn't want to stereotype or anything.
No,
I'll let you stereotype yourself.
It's the truth, man. I mean, I've ran into it plenty of times, but I eat pussy like a homeless person on bath salt, so I don't give a fuck.
Okay, that's good to know, ladies. Nick James will eat your pussy.
I will. So good.
Okay, so that is a thing in the black community. Like, you guys don't eat pussy. Why?
I don't know. I'm not that black. I've just heard it at cookouts.
What? Because, like, yeah, I'll go for a feast.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
I always finish my dinner.
But also, I do want her to take dessert.
Yeah.
She has to take dessert too. Dinner was nice, but dessert's better. You gotta make. I'm going too far. So, all right, that's what makes you you.
Yeah. I don't even know how to like re-summarize that. I'm Nick James. Sometimes people think I'm funny. I love music, and I'm just here to make everybody laugh.
There we go. And you have an average sized dick.
And I have an average sized penis.
So it really sucks that you got into this like comedy thing during this Corona too. Like you just started coming out like what 4 or 5 mic like.
I did my first open mic probably about a year and a half ago. I am the worst stand-up comedian because it's not something I'm necessarily passionate about. I'm just good at it, and so therefore I'm just really wanting to.
You're having fun.
I'm having fun. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame right now. Okay. I'm just having fun, right? And so that's what makes it so easy for me to be relaxed on stage, is because it's not.
You have no skin in the game?
No, not really. No, not really.
Okay.
But some people are good at math. Some people are good at science. I'm good at comedy. That's my natural talent, right? And when I started, did a couple of open mics. And then the new year hit, and I told myself, you know what? Even if you don't want to, you're going to force your ass to get out and go to 2 open mics a week, right?
There you
go.
So
that's what I started doing. And so, then when the pandemic hit, I wasn't too bummed about, not being able to do stand up, but at the same time, I did have some time goals to do that I wanted to accomplish. But then the world decided to end. COVID makes great stand-up material.
Other than we all have the same material now.
Right. but it makes me feel like hanging out with you guys and all these comedians makes me feel like Nirvana back in the 90s when grunge rock was still happening, just going to parties, playing in garages,
yeah,
skate parks.
That was random.
That was super random, but with this whole pandemic, I think that it's just forced us to get a little more creative with how we do things.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see what people are creating on their own time and when they have that free time and they're bored to the point that it's I gotta create something. And but yeah, man, it's awesome having you around.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing though in this whole thing? I always ask, it's a basic question that I end up asking at this point because what else are we talking about?
Well, I got addicted to drugs in my 30s at the beginning of the year. So my whole thing, everybody's like, I've been gardening, I've been reading, been doing so much exploration. I didn't die. That was my big hell yeah. From January to May was an absolute shit show. So now I'm starting to feel better. Been taking care of myself quite a bit. So mainly it's just I've been focusing on me, mental health, and remaining sane.
Okay, that's awesome, man. That should give a lot of people some something to strive through. Hope.
Yeah.
Holy shit, someone else can do it.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things you could do is just kick it all. Just
Yeah, this year's been a shit sandwich for sure.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it's somehow that was a symptom of Corona.
Anxiety and not treating it and not handling it in a positive manner. Rather, in New Orleans in 2005 when all the residents were there. Were like, hey Bush, the levees are about to break, and he didn't fucking listen. That was my body. And then the levees broke, and then...
So you think Bush actually was running the country at that point?
Bush?
Yeah.
2005?
Yeah, he was running the country?
Yeah.
Not Dick Cheney?
Oh, I see what you did there. You had me fucked up for a second. I was like, oh shit. Did I just say that just show my ignorance on camera?
No. Dick Cheney was totally running the country.
I know, Dick...
And they're talking about Kamala Harris being the most powerful vice president in history. Nah, let's not forget about that asshole.
Dick Cheney. It's
He shot a man and got away with it.
Hell yeah, he did. He's like, oh, shouldn't have been standing there.
So how do you feel about that's also the other thing. There's Corona and what's happening in politics. There's nothing else to talk about. How do you feel about this?
it is an interesting time to be alive when all my all my choices for like president could be on like an episode of Law and Order SVU. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
everybody's just sexual predators these days. It's like I don't know who's gonna be like. Do you like pick the best rapist? I don't know. Like
Who got away with it the most?
Hey, that guy used a condom. He looks like a nice guy. But in all honesty, it's just insane what they're doing. I'll probably write in my candidate so I can sleep at night, to tell you the truth.
I don't think I can sleep at night voting for any of these people.
Well, what's interesting is a lot of people, especially Democrats, are finding themselves in the same position that Republicans were in 2016, trying to pick the lesser of two evils, right? Because a lot of, you talk to a lot of people in 2016, they only voted for Trump because they didn't want Hillary to win. A lot of people thought like that, and then as time grew on, they started sucking the Trump dick.
Well, I mean, I wonder why nobody wanted her.
Well, I mean, Hillary's a fucking antichrist. I won't get started on that, but
well, we can.
We've got plenty of time.
Don't worry. Like, there's like an hour.
I think that going forward, and with at least with me, I'm not gonna vote for somebody I feel is not morally equipped. And what my question is when did we start settling for less? Like I hear a lot of people say, well, he's only human, or people make mistakes. He's holding the highest office in the world, and I expect you to be perfect. I'm sorry, I expect you to be perfect. Some people prepared for that role their entire lives, and then this fucking guy comes in.
Okay, first off, think of Donald Trump like Batman in The Dark Knight at the end of the movie.
Okay, at the end of the movie?
Yeah, what happens with him and Gordon? Batman and Gordon.
Well,
what does
Gordon tries to kill the dude?
No, Gordon kills the dude. He kills Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
And what does Batman say?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm not the hero this city deserves. Or it needs. I'm the hero that they deserve. I don't know. I'm botching it, but basically, we got ourselves here.
Okay, because I was
like think of the United States as Gotham. Like, we got ourselves fucking here. Like, you put up Hillary? Bitch, I run if I see that lady in a parking lot. Like, I think her gaze will make me commit suicide.
Bro, if I saw Hillary Clinton, I would just go stand in the corner and think about what I did wrong. Like, she is a cold bitch.
Well, alright, I'm just gonna say it. You were either the most unlucky human being in the world to have 28 business associates commit suicide, or you killed them.
Or somebody needs to have a little more team building exercises at the office, because if your employees are killing themselves, she should put in suicide nets like in China.
That's how bad her business practice is. Oh my god. No, you're right, man. Like, in jokes aside, you got to be able to sleep at night, and you can't go voting for these awful people, but I think we got what we deserved.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the one we need, it's the one we deserved.
Yeah, fuck, man.
He's tearing it fucking apart.
Yeah.
Like, because I think it got that way because of all the lying that happened from all the presidents before. And it's just like, hey,
they were just better about concealing it.
Asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. it's instead of just like finding out about Iran Contra like years later or some shit like that.
Right.
Like,
I think he's just really exacerbated.
It's nice having a dumb president, maybe.
No, I think he's exacerbated, existing problems that we've had, which is kind of a good thing. I mean, so much tension is under the surface, and then we've got this guy who just completely just exacerbates things from race relations to partisan division by his just sheer stupidity and lack of any empathy. But I think it's now we're having those important conversations. People are like, why are we almost on the brink of a race war? Police brutality has been going on for fucking decades, and we've been trying to say something, but it took a guy saying shut up and just dribble, or calling somebody protesting a son of a bitch for doing so. It took those kinds of actions to ignite, this spark again that racism isn't dead, or it's very much still alive.
So okay, first off, out of that statement, the first thing I'll say is I don't think Donald Trump's an idiot. He's not a moron. You don't make that much money. You don't have that many businesses. I know you have a startup with it all, with his dad giving him money.
His dad gave him $400 million, and his net worth is probably at about 700.
All I'm saying is I don't think the dude's that much of a moron, but I agree with everything you said. Other than I don't think he's a moron.
I think maybe he was a little more savvy back in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, he's getting dementia.
I think like he passed his peak, and it's just gelatin up there.
Oh yeah, I'll agree there.
Yeah.
Okay, dementia's setting in.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Biden.
Biden's. I don't know enough about Biden to really have that opinion, but I will say
he just called he straight was like, you don't know, fat. Like, it's basically what he did. You know that one thing that everybody believes in. You know what I'm talking about.
I remember.
That's literally.
I remember asking my friend back in 2016 during the debates. I was like, so, hey, how did the debate go? And he's like, oh, well, Trump talked about his dick and Ted Cruz licked a booger. And I was like, Jesus Christ. This is how it happens.
No, I'm going to give you, Donald Trump is having early onset dementia. For sure. Biden has dementia.
Yeah.
Biden straight has dementia. One debate, he turned around and started talking to the screen. Come on!
That's funny.
I forgot I forgot what the second thing that you just said. Oh, racism still being alive. I mean, I guess it's never been I've never seen it in my life until the past few years. Maybe I'm that blind idiot out there. And I've never what?
I think that it's concerning that you say that, but I mean that tends to be the common denominator. What? And I think I made a joke about this before, that it's a crazy time to be alive when I'm watching the news and seeing white people get fucked up by the police for black rights. White people watch black people get fucked up in the 60s, in Birmingham. I'm just sitting from the comfort of my couch watching Becky get pepper sprayed.
But doesn't that show that racism isn't that prominent?
No. I think what it
what does that highlight then? You just.
I think what it shows is that I think that people are waking up, and I think that people are realizing that stuff is very much alive. That's why you have your 20-year-old college students going out and going to rallies and so forth,
and it's not the professors teaching them this stuff.
Because
colleges are a cesspool of.
Mm-hmm. It can be.
Most of them have really Marxist thinking and stuff like that.
Colleges tend to be pretty fairly liberal, but I don't think that's entirely the reason why. It's a part of it.
Yeah.
It's a part of it, but with the whole Black Lives movement, I'm even seeing people, in their 30s, out there, right?
And that's awesome. I'm not shitting on those people.
Absolutely. I just think that with the way that communication has changed and in the age of the internet, people who may not have thought that racism existed 5 years ago can now see black people getting killed in, HD, uploaded instantaneously. Remember, I can remember what I was doing when I watched Philando Castile get shot, or Alton Sterling. These are things that no matter, it's in your face now, and now we have the opportunity to do something about it. Because it's so many times we were complaining about this, and and what broke the camel's back was the Floyd incident. 8 minutes 56 seconds of somebody pleading for their mom. That's what did it. Enough was enough.
I mean, I hear you on all that, and like I guess like I don't see it that way because people get killed by the cops, and I've seen it. I've had a gun pointed at me for like things, and it's just like, yeah, I don't want anybody to die, and I get it, but like I also go and do the math and stuff, and then like the statistics, ratios, things like that, and it's just like, it just looks like the cops suck and need to get trained better.
Well,
more than anything.
That's a good point. I often use Spokane as a really good example of this. Spokane at one point had the highest cop to criminal fatality rate in the nation.
What does that mean?
So the highest cop to criminal fatality rate meaning the cops.
We were killing the most people.
The cops were killing the most people.
Okay.
In the nation, and I moved out of here in 2009, and I remember one night walking by a 7-Eleven, I believe, on Freya, and seeing just a whole bunch of cops there. And that happened to be the night that Carl Thompson had beat Otto Zem to death. And
who's Carl? Okay,
Carl Thompson was a white cop who beat a disabled janitor to death in 7-Eleven. His last words was, "All I wanted was a candy bar," right?
It's ridiculous.
And,
this is ridiculous.
And that's why Spokane is such a good example of police brutality, as just that, being indiscriminate of race, but based on typically either race or class, the poor.
Well, and then that's also that I don't like, not to like dismiss like everything that happened with Michael Floyd and everything. I want to focus
George Floyd.
George.
You're getting your black murder victims mixed. Michael Brown and Ferguson.
Yeah.
There's so many that it's
it's getting ridiculous.
I know. You get them mixed up.
And but George Floyd, I don't want to dismiss that, but it's like, it's about how the cops treat the poor more than anything, and it does happen to be in our society, black people tend to be more poor. So in bigger metropolises. So because you can go down to Georgia and find a fucking trailer park you don't want to go in either. You know what I mean?
Well, and it only is perpetuated by socioeconomic conditions and the wealth gap between blacks and their counterparts. The difference between blacks and blacks and poor whites is that with the black community there is a glass ceiling. No matter how much money you have, you'll still be a black person, right? But
I feel bad for you guys because I never, like, I was raised military. I was around like every fucking human American, and I feel bad for you. I could never like imagine.
And I was reading something about Serena Williams.
Well, she broke that glass ceiling, right?
Well, she's loaded rich, and almost died of complications from childbirth due to being ignored in the hospital.
Well, that's super
and undervalued,
cool.
but you look at the mortality rate among black women in childbirth, and it's I think in Washington D.C. it was 28.5 for every 100,000 compared to their white counterparts of 6 per 100,000. So I'm
really missing Daniel right now.
Right, our stats guy.
I was just like, Daniel, look that up. That's all I want to do right now.
I know.
I'm just like, fuck.
I'm a trove of useless information, but
you're confident. I believe you.
Shooting from the hip. No, but and it just goes to show that whole glass ceiling that I was talking about.
That's not cool though. Like whoever's okay with that's a piece of shit. Anybody that's okay with what you just said. But piece of shit. Don't talk to me.
But kind of circling that back to Spokane and our issues. Pastor Wayne Creech was another gentleman. He was a pastor who walked out into his front yard at 3 a.m. in the morning because there was an unmarked car in his driveway. It turned out to be a police officer. The autopsy report shows that the police officer hit him in the shins with a baton, dropped him to his knees, and shot him execution style in his own.
And that the pastor was African American as
well? No, he's white.
Okay, so no, like now we're yeah, that's the issue here. Like,
So yeah, we're saying, you know, police brutality is an issue. It does disproportionately affect the minority community,
I'll
but
give
we're
you
fighting
that.
for everybody. Right?
Yeah, and we got to do that. And if we're doing that, we can't be fucking looting.
No,
If
no.
we're fighting for everybody, we can't be looting.
Absolutely. You know,
I feel bad for like the people like you that like have like these intelligent thoughts on this shit, and you just got all it is seeing people pulling up in U-Haul stealing
so fucking
Gucci.
poor though right now. I mean, it'd be tempting. It's like yes. No, but
you know it's your right now. That's
right?
what they're saying. It's your right to loot because they have insurance.
I think that, you know, this is really refreshing because anytime I go out to the bar, it's like ask a black guy, and I do not just like leave me alone while I have my bubbly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like, you know, the amount of times like I'm not racist, I just don't think black people and white people should marry. I'm like, dude,
What
shut
the fuck
up.
did you just say?
Oh my god, it happens all the time.
I
dude.
might want to stab him. Like that is the worst thing ever.
No, all the time. But also, viewers, I live in Idaho, and it's
I told you what they said to Dre.
What did they say to him?
Out in Loon Lake.
What did they say to him?
Some dude came up to Dre and goes, "You're the least racist black person I've ever met."
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
What?
And then proceeds to walk up to me and repeat it.
That is so weird.
You know what I did though? I dead stared the dude, right? I go, "Oh, that guy over there? Nah, he's super fucking racist."
That's hilarious.
But what the fuck is that? Like, dude, that's like that isn't why I tell that joke about bringing my white friends to meet my black friends. Like,
well,
you're gonna say something stupid. I already know.
Yeah, I think that you know, as a nation, and don't get me wrong, I hate outrage culture. I hate virtuism. It drives me crazy. I hate
authority.
Online. Well, meaning, you know, somebody messing up and then the whole fucking mob getting on them.
Yeah,
I hate that. I hate that.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture, or people's lives being ruined by allegations. If
I need some proof before I say anything.
You know, if my life can get ruined by our shitty judicial system in a court of law, all right, then that's the bar. That's the bar. Like, just because you didn't get what you want from the same shitty judicial system doesn't mean you didn't have your day in court. And everybody should have their day in court.
Well, and then one of the founding fathers, I think Benjamin Franklin, said it's better to let 10 guilty men free than lock up one innocent.
Absolutely, and where I was going with that is that I think as a you know, just as a civilization, and we are trying to, you know, change people's frame of thinking by addressing people's microaggressions, you know, subtle racist things like, oh, I'm not racist, but black people and white people shouldn't marry. Right.
Well, yeah, but
that is a racist microaggression. So fucking stamp it out.
How about this? Is this a racial microaggression? I'm not racist, but I understand why you like fried chicken.
You know, I honestly no, because just prefacing it with the "I'm not racist" just makes it awkward for both parties. You know,
in the beginning,
and
then you're just like. I get
fried chicken's fucking delicious, dude. It's so fucking good.
So that's not one.
No.
Okay. I'm in the